Look, if you've been in nursing for 15 plus years, you are the go-to on your ward. Everyone comes to you for help, but your title and pay slips still look like a mid-level staff RN at 85 to 95k. You are not unlucky. You are not cursed. You are not being blocked by politics as much as you think. The hard truth is this: the reason you are not in a senior role is on you. Not because you are lazy, not because you're stupid, but because you have handed your career over to everyone and everything you cannot control. This video is for the nurses in Australia and New Zealand who feel invisible and stuck, but are finally willing to hear that. The ones doing rotating 12-hour shifts, juggling kids and aging parents, collapsing on the couch at night, telling yourself you'll work on the resume tomorrow. The ones who have watched younger, masters-prepared, more outspoken nurses leapfrog you into NUM, CNC, Educator, and even NP roles, while you stay the reliable worker bee that keeps the ward afloat. You want a role paying you 120k or more a year. You want predictable, sustainable hours. You want to lead with empathy and still be present for your family. And if that sounds like you, stay and watch this video because it will help a ton with getting the right mindset to actually succeed. On the other hand though, if you are here for sympathy, if you want me to co-sign that your career progression is in the hands of anyone but yourself, for example, your boss, the system, HR, basically wanting me to tell you what you want to hear and not what you need to hear, please click off this video because I will definitely rub you the wrong way. Because I'm not here to say the system is fair. It isn't. I'm here to tell you that focusing on what is unfair is exactly why you have not moved. You can't control how the system or your boss treat you. So why make that the focus point of your own career progression? The only thing you can control is how you react to these external factors. So in the rest of this video, I'm going to break down exactly what sits in your control and what does not, and how to stop wasting your limited energy on the wrong side of that line. If you are ready to hear that your career is nobody else's job but yours, keep watching. If you're not ready, that is fine. But be honest with yourself. By you having that mindset, you are actively choosing to stay in the same position. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk about the first thing keeping you stuck, the control gap. Most mid-career nurses stay fixated on everything they can't influence. The nun who hasn't left in 12 years, the politics, the culture, the younger nurses with master's degrees, the lack of openings, the mysterious preferences of hiring panels. You've probably spent years believing these are the reasons you're not moving. But they aren't the real blockers. The real blocker is that none of these things matter, even as half as much as the things entirely within your control. So that's documenting your leadership, building a criteria-aligned portfolio, choosing roles outside flat ladders, actually hitting submit instead of endlessly tweaking, timing your applications to cycles, and creating visibility without playing politics. This is the moment where most nurses realize, oh crap, I've been fighting the wrong battle. And that shift from external blame to internal ownership is where everything changes. Second, the visibility problem. So many incredibly skilled nurses genuinely believe their work should speak for itself. It doesn't. It never has. Panels don't score your personality. They score evidence. If your accomplishments aren't written, structured, and matched to the criteria, they don't exist. Acting in charge, precepting, stepping in during crises, mentoring the grads, fixing broken processes, none of it counts unless it's captured as measurable, criteria-aligned evidence. And the best part, this isn't bragging. This is visibility without ego, and it removes the fear that you're overselling yourself when really you've been underselling yourself for your entire career. Before we go further, If you're listening to this and realizing you've been relying on luck, timing, or hoping someone will eventually notice you, send me a DM on Instagram with the word leader. I'll show you the exact steps nurses use to make themselves visible on paper and in panels without feeling fake or political. You can find me at Thrive Nurse Coach. Third, the ladder reality check. Here's the truth most nurses don't want to accept. You might be sitting on a unit where upward movement is mathematically impossible. One num who's been there a decade. No CNS or CNC positions, zero internal churn, manage who verbally support you but never create a plan. If there are no rungs above you, then there is no ladder. Flat ladders have a 0 to 10% yearly chance of progression, meaning staying put is basically choosing a career freeze. The good news, you have far more control than you think. You can switch hospitals, move into services where leadership pathways actually exist, target bigger organizations with real internal mobility, play an external long game while keeping your internal income stable. This isn't abandoning your loyalty, it's abandoning stagnation. Fourth, the conversion gap. You're not getting knocked back because you're not capable. You're getting knocked back because your applications aren't converting. Most nurses who get interviews but not offers fall into the same traps. No criteria mapping, portfolio missing or patchy, examples not quantifiable, interview responses unstructured, narrative apologetic instead of authoritative, CV or resume written like a job description instead of a leadership portfolio. Hard work might get you an interview, but only evidence converts interviews into offers. And once you understand that, the entire hiring process becomes predictable instead of mysterious. Finally, the 12 to 24 month campaign. Nurses want clarity. They want to know how long does it actually take to move into a NUM CNC educator or NP role. Well, here's the truth. Leadership transitions run in predictable cycles. And if you work with those cycles instead of against them, you can absolutely move in 12 to 24 months, even after 15 or 20 years of feeling invisible. What does that campaign look like? You build your portfolio. You map your CV. You make targeted role-relevant projects. You network with intention. You practice interview reps, and you maintain a consistent application rhythm instead of throwing your hat in once a year when you feel brave. Without a structured campaign, nothing changes. With one, everything becomes strategically winnable. If you want help building that 12 to 24 month plan, instead of trying to piece it together in the cracks of your day, send me a DM on Instagram with the word leader. You can find me on at Thrive Nurse Coach. We'll look at exactly where you're starting, what's blocking your visibility, and what needs to shift you to move you into the role you've actually been operating at for years. That's it from me. Take this with you, sit with it, and most importantly, do something with it. Your future self will thank you for starting today.